Lesson 6.5, applying systems of linear equations. Our objective is to determine the best method for solving a system and then solve it. So this is basically using the last 3 lessons kind of wrapped up into one. You're going to be given systems and have to determine which way is the best way to solve it and then go ahead and solve it. So the standards are Algebra 1, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6. So I've just kind of got it spelled out here. We're not going to do any real examples until we get to the end. I've got a word problem I want to show you. But you would definitely use substitution method when one or more of the equations is already x equal or y equal. So if you had 2x plus 3y equals 8 and y equals 4x plus 1, you would definitely use the substitution method and take 4x plus 1 and substitute in for that y right there and proceed to solve the problem for x. And then once you get x, you'd go back and substitute in for y. So substitution is now going to be limited to only when it's x equal or y equal. The only time it would be different is if it specifically said in the directions, use this method. Well, if it says use this method, then you got to use that method. But for all practical purposes, it's going to be your decision. So if it's x equal, y equal, it's so much simpler to go ahead and use the substitution method. Using elimination by adding or subtracting. If they already have the same or opposite coefficients, so 4x plus 7y equals 10 and 2x minus 7y equals 5. So those two are ready to be added, so they fall out. And I would definitely go ahead and just start adding, they fall out. I am not a fan of the part where it says already the same. If they're the same, then you should really subtract, but I really don't think that's a great idea. I think that if that's the case, you're really kind of using the next method, and the day that we did 6.3, I didn't really tell you this, but we did one little part from 6.4 by telling you to change all the signs to the opposite, like you were multiplying with a -1. That was really lesson 6.4, by multiplying through by -1. I think you ought to make the set be opposites, okay? So you should always make the set be opposites so you're ready to add and one will fall out. Okay, so using elimination, using multiplication, multiply one or both. So if I'm looking at the first set here, 4x plus y equals 8, 2x minus 5y equals 10, what would be the best thing to do, the quickest to get toward the actual adding? Mia? Yeah, I would definitely multiply that top one by 5 because that would make it 20x plus 5y equals 8, and then the y's would fall out. Okay, so there's a case where you might have to multiply just one of them. Now, case 2, you kind of got a choice. What? Oh, yeah, I messed up there, didn't I? See, I did the common mistake I was talking about yesterday. A lot of people, they multiply the first 2 and they forgot the last one, and I just did that. So I was just checking to see if you were paying attention. Good catch. At least I know you're paying attention. And it was 40, right. So 20x plus 5y equals 40. Exactly right. All right. Now, case 2, 2x plus 5y equals 20, and negative 3x plus 8y equals 4. Not a set of those, the x's or the y's, is one a multiple of the other. So the result is having to multiply them both. So my tree, what would I end up doing? Yeah, the first one by 3 and the second one by 2. Because the x's, you know, they already are the opposite sign, so you might as well go with them. But there's no rule that you have to do that. If you wanted to eliminate the y's, you could have. You would have just had to multiply by one of the negatives. But I would say definitely this would be the best route. So the top one would be 6x plus 15y equals 60. And the bottom one, negative 6x plus 16y equals 8. And then you'd be ready to go right there to eliminate the x's. Okay? So you're going to basically judge which way is the best and then go with that way. All right, questions about that? I want to pull up a word problem from the textbook that goes along with all the stuff we've been doing. Does everybody have the red written there? Okay, so there's a whole set of problems you could be given, but we're going to look at this problem right here. And the reason I'm pulling it up is because I didn't want to have to write all of it out. To write it in your notes, you probably need to say something like, I'll highlight the part you should probably write, okay? So Manuela has a total of 40 DVDs, of movies and television shows, okay? And so total of 40 DVDs, movies and television shows. Okay. The number of movies, so you could say movies, is 4 less than 3 times the TV shows. Movies is 4 less than 3 times the TV shows. Write and solve a system to find the number of movies and TV shows that she has on DVD. So write and solve the system. Write and solve system. So this is one of those cases where you need to pick what variables you're going to use and define them. So what variables you think we should use? Ethan, what do you think?
D and T.
What?
D and T.
D and T?
D for DVDs and T for television shows.
Well, I think the thing is they're all DVDs.
Oh.
They're M and T. So let's do, let M be the number of movies. And then let T equal the number of TV shows. So, as I've said a couple of times, one of your equations is generally quantity, and the other one, sometimes it's money. In this case, they're giving you in that second sentence how it should look. But knowing that there are a total of 40, and we're using M and T, what would that equation be, Jared?
M plus T equals 40.
M plus T, I kind of got crazy with my plus there. Hold on, because I want them to look definitely different. M plus T equals 40. And then the number of movies is 4 less than 3 times the number of television shows. So you need to take that sentence and translate it into an equation. So the number of movies, what would be that? We already said that, didn't we? What is that? M is equals, how would we write 4 less than 3 times the number of TV shows, my tree? Three T minus 4. 4 less than 3 times the number of TV shows. Okay, we have a system, don't we? M plus T is 40. M equals 3T minus 4. Going by the rules that I just put forth on the other screen, which way are we going to do this, Avery? Substitution. Because we know what M equals. So we're going to take this 3T minus 4 and plug it in for M. So I'm going to put 3T minus 4 plus T equals 40. And then we got to solve that. So combine like terms. 4T minus 4 equals 40. Add 4 to each side. 4T equals 44. And divide by 4. So there are 11 TV shows. There are 11 TV shows. So to find the other one, if I take M plus T, M plus 11 equals 40, then I know that there are, how many? 29 are movies. That's 4 less than 3 times. Well, 3 times 11 is 33 minus 4. Yep, 29 movies. Okay, so you're going to have to deal with some word problems and then some that you have to decide which way is the better way to go.